Hey guys, Hitman89 here. I hope you're doing great, and if you're looking for some good single player games to keep you entertained for a very long time, then you've come to the right place, because today I'm gonna show you the best 2022 single player games so far. By the way, I upload game reviews and top 10 videos about the best games to play, so make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel and turn on that notification bell, cause YouTube is being a little bitch right now. Anyway, without further ado, let me show you the first game. I wanted to start with Uncharted because in my opinion it's one of the best adventure games out there, and a lot of people weren't able to play it back when it first came out because it was a PlayStation exclusive. But with this Legacy of Thieves collection, PC users will finally also be able to experience Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy with better graphics and performance. Personally, I played the PS5 version and these games really don't look like they came out 6 years ago. So for those of you who never played these games, you can expect tons of breathtaking scenes, a little bit of humor, some charismatic characters, and plenty of crazy jumps that you'll occasionally misjudge and end up splatting on the floor like a piece of shit. Now at number 2 we have a game that's only available on Xbox and PC. Tunic is an indie game with a beautiful world that's fun to explore, a combat system that's simple but fun, and when playing this game I really didn't feel like it was made by a small studio, let alone one guy, which is an incredible achievement. But this guy's biggest achievement is not getting sued by Nintendo for ripping off Zelda. All jokes aside, don't let the cute art style fool you. Tunic is much more challenging than Zelda. And if you don't feel like spending $30 on this game, then get it through Game Pass. What's not on Game Pass though is the third game on my list. Don't forget to hit the like button for more shitty transitions like this one. So God of War originally came out on PS4 back in 2018. It received the PS5 update last year, and earlier this year the PC version finally came out, and that's why it's on my list. I beat the game on PS4, I played a little bit of New Game Plus on PS5, and I can safely say this is one of the best games of the decade. I love the story and voice acting so much that I didn't skip a single cutscene, which by the way is kinda rare in my case, cause seriously, whenever I don't like a game's dialogue or voice acting, I just start skipping cutscenes like crazy. And since we're talking about cutscenes, I really love God of War's seamless transitions from cutscenes to gameplay. Oh, and for those of you on PC, I recommend you play the game with the controller for better immersion. And even though Atreus can be an annoying little bitch at times, he adds depth to the story and he can actually be a valuable ally. So if you haven't played God of War yet, you're missing out. And now we're gonna go from one of the most polished games ever to probably the least polished one you'll play this year. Cause at number 4 we have Elex 2, and I'm sure not that many of you heard of this one. So Elex 2 is a sci-fi post-apocalyptic open world RPG that came out March 1st. I don't know if you're like this or not, especially if you're only into modern RPGs, but one thing's for sure, Elex 2 is 100% pure Eurojank. What I love about this game is that it's got that old school style that reminded me of Gothic and Risen. I mean, it's made by the same studio, so you better expect to get the shit beaten out of you every 10 minutes, which can obviously happen when fighting high level monsters. But it can also happen when you try to talk to a character and you accidentally steal the item that's right next to them. They just draw their weapon and come to take your life away. Seriously, NPCs in this game have no chill. Speaking of which, the amount of disrespect in dialogues makes them hilarious. Not as hilarious as the shitty animations and combat though. No, but for real, even with all the cons I listed, Elex 2 is extremely fun to play and I'm loving it. I just hope the devs keep on fixing it. Moving on to another game that still needs fixing, Cyberpunk 2077. 2 years after its original release, we finally got the next-gen version, and even though it's still far from being the masterpiece we were promised, it's definitely a good game now. The story is interesting, the voice acting makes it even better, the graphics are great, and guns feel good, especially with the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback features on PS5. So if you're wondering if Cyberpunk 2077 is worth buying now, if you're on PC or next-gen, then the answer is yes. At number 6 we have SIFU, a beat 'em up with a twist that makes it unique. Cause on SIFU, every time you die, you get older. And believe me, on this game, you're gonna die a lot. So when you're 70, then it's game over. Needless to say, the game is extremely challenging and you're gonna be playing the same levels several times until you actually manage to beat them without dying too many times. The art style is beautiful and interesting, the concept is unique, the gameplay is solid, but the game's only got 5 levels, so keep that in mind. Now let me show you the 7th game on my list. Horizon Forbidden West took everything the first game did right and made it even better. So the game looks great, it has better facial animations and melee combat, but Aloy talks too goddamn much. She's always giving out hints and telling you where to go, what to do, when to do it. We don't need that many instructions. Oh well, let's be honest, the climbing and platforming parts were a chore. Nobody enjoyed doing those sections, right? Other than that, the combat and exploration were a blast, so even if you haven't played the first Horizon game, you should check this one out. Now for those of you who want to play a zombie game, you should take a look at the 8th game. Dying Light 2 is an open world zombie RPG that launched in a shitty state and then got better with updates. Speaking of updates, I made an updated review, so check it out if you haven't already. Anyway, combat and parkour are what makes Dying Light 2 fun to play, cause the story and cutscenes suck dick. Also keep in mind it's one of those games that do their best to bore you to death in the beginning and then slowly get better as you unlock new skills. So if you're considering picking up Dying Light 2, just don't give up during the first hour and you'll most likely end up enjoying the game and even getting addicted to it. The next game I want to show you is underrated, but it's worth playing. Weird West has got an insane amount of possibilities and approaches to choose from. Plus most of your actions have real consequences, so the replayability value here is through the roof. Oh, and there are 5 playable characters who each have their own stories and goals. The environments are full of interactive objects, and most importantly, Weird West is available on Game Pass. So if you don't think it's worth $40, just get a 1-month Game Pass subscription and give this game a shot. Last but certainly not least, let me show you the 10th game on my list. Now that I beat Elden Ring, I finally got my life back, and that's how I was able to make this video. And I know you can play Elden Ring online if you want to see messages from other players, summon up to 3 co-op partners, or have some PvP action, but I've always played Souls games offline because I wanted to enjoy them 100% solo. Also, for those of you on PC who got the game for free, you'll be playing it offline. Anyway, if you're like me and you love games with no hand-holding at all, then you're gonna love Elden Ring, cause the game doesn't tell you where to go or what to do to complete certain quests. You just have to figure everything out on your own, which I think is great. The devs just don't give a fuck if you miss out on half the game, and that's what I love about Souls games. The world is huge. Every time I thought I saw most of it, the map expanded some more. So if you get stuck at the mandatory boss fight, just explore another region, level up, get stronger, and go back to that piece of shit. Also, when it comes to exploration, there is that tension that you constantly feel because of the fear of the unknown, and most importantly, because of the fear of losing your runes. The only issue I have with the game is the shitty frame rate in certain areas. So if you can only afford to buy one game this year and you want it to keep you busy for months, then it should be Elden Ring. Possible side effects: losing your job, breaking up with your significant other, and severe sleep deprivation. But I think it's definitely worth it. And that's gonna be it for the best single player games you should play right now. I really hope you found this video helpful. Hit the like button if you did, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Oh, and follow me on Twitter at Hitman89Plays if you wanna share some of your gaming screenshots or videos with me, or if you just wanna interact with me. Anyways, it's been Hitman89. See you guys very soon.